Ladies and gentlemen, the long awaited, highly anticipated, I'm going to let you in my world with a public announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, my attorney, Dan Ryan.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes.
How
And
are you?
okay, thanks. Thanks, man. And my brother passed away a couple of days ago, and you knew him. And he said, "Hey, man." And when he said that, good things were happening. He said, "You know that Dan Ryan?" I said, "Do I know him?" Yeah. And so he really liked you, and he had good times with you in the office down there.
Yeah, Tom was a great man, great Irishman,
There,
great clerk too.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. You gotta do all three. You know,
Right,
yeah,
right, right.
yeah. And so this is why I wanted you out, Dan. Is that through another brother, through we thought he had it, she had it, they must have had it about probate
Okay.
and how much that is, and how much our family's entire life.
Yeah.
We had priests who were friends, doctors who were friends, professionals who were friends, and we always had a personal lawyer,
Okay. All right.
you know?
All
And
right.
that's what I was wanting to bring out to Wales Certified. And by the way, you're Wales Certified Hall of Affinity, Dan Ryan.
Thank you, sir. That's an honor.
Yeah, all right then. All right then. And so the whole story comes out is that you take us from the cradle to the grave, and
All right.
having a personal relationship with your lawyer is kind of like you. I mean, come on, man. You know, I mean,
Right.
yeah. And so, Dan, I got a list of this,
Okay.
and you know whaleisms. So you got the power of attorney, the will, the tax law, the criminal law, the lawsuits, the properties, the health, and somebody who knows a country lawyer in case you go down to southern Missouri,
Right. All
and
right.
and then I'll take the fifth when police once they ask you questions, and about tickets and about neighbor disputes. So
Okay.
all that on the tree, and obviously you have a practice where you specialize in a certain type of law, but you're well rounded with everything, and you would be like the first stop shop of
Right.
yeah Wales. I know this guy or this gal, and they'll really bang you up job. But can you was is that enough information that you could take it away, Danny?
Yeah. Well, let me say a couple of things. I mean,
All right.
what I've practiced all my life is I'm a personal injury trial lawyer. I've tried lots of cases. I represent people who are injured. I represent the families of people who were injured either by products or car accidents, or I'm sorry, killed by either products or car accidents or things like that. So I do all injury cases, but I think the benefit from anybody having a friend as a personal lawyer is that we know the people, and I think that's one of the biggest problems there is in having your own practice is that nobody really knows you. I mean, even these guys that advertise, you don't really get to know them, so you don't know. But if you talk to a lawyer who is I practice in St. Louis area going on 35 years in September. So I know the people. I know the lay of the land. I know the judges. So it's really important just to rely on that information. I mean, when you can come, I tell my friends, come to me with any question, and if I can't do it, I'll find you somebody that can, and that's important.
Yeah.
So I mean, people, from the old neighborhood. I would tell them, I don't care if you call me. I want everybody I know to have access. Okay, access to a
Yes.
lawyer. When we were growing up, poor little kids in Baden and Jennings or whatever, we didn't have access. We couldn't pick up the phone and call a lawyer. And if we did, your parents did, they'd charge you. I don't charge any of my friends. I just let them. They pick up the phone, and if I can't help them, I direct them in the right, you know, to the right person. So
Right.
yeah, so that so I can give you general advice about things that I don't practice in, areas I don't practice in, with the caveat that you'll know I don't practice in them, but I can also then start pointing you in the right direction so that you can get your problem solved, your question answered. So
Amen, man. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, it's kind of like you're my better self.
right, right, right.
Yeah, and the thing is that you, because I vented you,
Hmm.
that and we became friends because you
Hmm.
vented me, that
Hmm.
that when you say you send me over to Al kind of knows a guy like me, and he knows you,
Hmm.
and everything's okay. It's like,
Right.
yeah, and it's like knowing St. Peter, man. St. Peter's, hey, geez, I let him in. Okay, all right, take care of the guy.
I
And
mean, from a personal experience, I have taken over cases from other lawyers where a person comes to me because they're pissed at their lawyer or the guy's not doing anything. And I really don't like working on cases that other lawyers have picked up because they don't do things the same way you do things, and a lot of them don't do the right things, and it makes the case even harder for you to help
yeah,
resolve and help the person.
yeah,
So yeah, finding the right person is important. So
yes. And I did this on my own. I always, went with time with the lawyers,
right.
and then now, it was you. You were an easy, you were right there, right, right in the mug,
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah. And the way about the doctor also is
Right.
that I went several years ago, and I said, "Hey, I'm coming in first time, and I want to interview you to see if I would allow you to be my doctor."
Right. Right.
Yeah, and he kind of chuckled. He said, "Great, I'm looking forward to it. It's my
Hmm.
first one." And
Hmm.
he was eager to see if he passed the audition or not. You know, yeah.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
if he hadn't, I would have told him. You know,
Right.
and so that to me is very, very important, as well as all those other ways. A tax. You got to know your tax person, man. You got
Oh
to,
yeah.
yeah, and you got to know your priest for God's sakes, or your spiritual advisor. Yeah,
Right. Right.
and then I just can't help because Tom always told me, man, hey, if you get rear-ended down in Boone County or Greene County, they don't want to hear no, Yankee St. Louis lawyer.
Right. Right.
So you're connected with the state of Missouri, and there's people that are like-minded down in Boone County too, right?
Correct. I mean, I belong to the Missouri Association of Trial Attorneys, the American Association of Justice, which is the national trial attorneys organization. So, I know people in Missouri from top of the state to the bottom,
Yeah,
and so I would be able to help you in any area of the state that you would have a problem. And like you said, it's really important to get the person who's local. Even when I try cases or I take a big case and it's not around St. Louis, it's Springfield, Kansas City, whatever. I always hire a local lawyer just to he or she doesn't even really have to do anything but sit there with me. But it's good for the judge to know that you know somebody local so that they can get that little first initial bit of trust that they need to help to work with you. So
that was.
uh, eh,
Yeah, go.
well, I was gonna say the other thing that I kept thinking of as you were talking is, your brother Tom was a wealth of information as when it came to judges and lawyers and St. Louis area attorneys or whatever to do. I would come up and ask him questions sometimes too,
Yeah.
because he had contact with all the judges. He had contact with all the lawyers, or at least the ones that were trial lawyers, sides of the fence. And so he was a wealth of great information to either vet your opponent or find out which judge is doing what. And, it was really great. So, I loved him, and I loved his advice. And it was a great loss for the Circuit Court of the City of St. Louis that when he left. So,
Yeah. Peace to you, bro.
yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole story. Very interesting. I picked up on it right away. It's the first level of trust. I mean, that trust is like an onion, my baby. I mean, you start peeling away, you start to discover stuff.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so the other thing is about taking the fifth. Saying a police officer, he or she may be a rookie, they may be sergeants, they may be whatever, and they're wanting to ask you questions. My understanding is that the United States Supreme Court gives them the opportunity to lie and to finagle the story.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Cops can lie to you. You can't lie to cops.
Yeah.
And I have cops in my family. I love police officers. They're great people. But some of, like in any other profession, there's some people that are bad apples or bad actors. My general advice is somebody who gets in a situation where they want to interrogate you because of something you may or may not have done. I always recommend take the fifth and get a lawyer first. So
Yeah. And that's in my way of understanding is that they respect that.
well, sure.
Because that's the right. And you may I always like that the 6 and the 9. I'm looking down, I'm seeing a 6, and you're across from me, and you're saying, "Man, that's a 9."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the police officers, they're not everything. They're a police officer writing a report or something. And so the
Right.
interpretations, that onion, you're starting to make me cry, baby. See,
Yeah.
And so I think that's not it's the way. You're not demeaning anybody, and
Right.
and they can lie. That's okay. Everything's off the record.
Right. That's
Okay.
true.
Yeah, tell it to my lawyer. So,
Right.
yeah. Now, how about tickets? Do you do the ticket the same way, or how do you do tickets?
I mean, with you get pulled over for a ticket. I usually also don't recommend doing much talking with the cop. If they're going to give you a ticket, they're giving you a ticket no matter what you say.
Yeah.
And I would say, and the other thing, kind of a fallacy that people have is sometimes, I don't think they do this much anymore, but they used to make you sign the ticket. And people thought that was a big deal. And it's like, no, signing the ticket, there's no admission of guilt, nothing like that. That's just what they were told to have you do, just to show that you were there,
Yeah.
And so, again, with tickets, I wouldn't be belligerent to them. I would be polite with them. And again, like I said, when they come back to your car with that ticket book, you're not going to talk them out of that ticket. They're just going to write it,
Yeah.
And then there's plenty of lawyers I know that do ticket cases. And sometimes they can get you out of them, sometimes they can't. But again, it's things that happen under the law that that civilians wouldn't know that a lawyer does. It may be able to get you out of the ticket or lessen the impact of the ticket. All stuff like that. So don't fight with cops is my advice.
Right. It's just the shop, to bring a shovel to the story, is that the points that can be deducted, it goes into your insurance.
Yeah.
So,
In general, there's some counties that don't do it, don't reduce tickets and take away the points. Most of them do. But, that's an important thing that you bring up because you can only get 12 points against your license and then it gets suspended,
yeah.
and your insurance company will know that, and then your rates go up and all kinds of stuff. So the idea of getting a lawyer for a ticket may seem like overkill to some people, but it actually helps you. It helps keep your premium rates down. Helps you not put too much impact on your license. And the county, most of the counties and the places that write tickets, they don't care about giving you points. They want the cash. They want the money. So that's what they're worried about. So
Yeah.
uh, and it's run of the mill. It's just a par for the course for most places that issue tickets. And again, like I said, there's a couple of counties in Missouri that just won't do it. There's a couple of counties in Missouri that require you to show up, the person who got the ticket, So you got to kind of dance to their music. But if you do that and you get an attorney, you're going to be in a lot better situation.
Yeah. Hey, Dan, can you tell us again who your law firm you're connected with, and can somebody get a hold of you or your law firm?
Oh yeah. Well, I had the law offices of Daniel C. Ryan. It's still a going entity, but I'm wrapping it up. And I had my own practice for 27 years, and then my friend Bill Holland was kind enough to hire me just as a of counsel lawyer of his firm. You've probably seen Bill's stuff. He's got commercials on TV, and all we do are injury cases and death cases. And I wanted to stay in that area because I get to try cases still. I mean, I tried one for Bill a couple months ago, and had a good result. But I work for the Holland, Bill Holland's firm, Holland Injury Law, and the number is 314-888-7888. And if I'm not there, leave a number. I'll get back to you. If you need assistance immediately, there's always a lawyer in that office, and
Yeah.
we can talk to you. So, yeah, any injury cases, any car accidents, any products liability claims, where somebody's been injured by a product, or medical malpractice claims. We do workers' comp. We do the whole gamut. And if it's something that's a specialized area of injury law that we don't do, we know the people to get you to. So,
Right. And
yeah.
that's another one I didn't bring. I mean, the company, they're there for a reason. And
Hmm.
and their insurance company is there for a reason. And
Hmm.
it would just seem to me, a guy who doesn't know nothing from nothing, seems like, hey, I ought to have somebody for me.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, the insurance company has lawyers working on your case as soon as it happens. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and if the couple of things is, if you come to us and you got a case that really isn't a case, or if you got a case that is not very valuable and it wouldn't be worth hiring a lawyer, we'll tell you that. you
Yeah.
know
Right.
but the problem historically with injury lawyers, the problem always was that all what we call the silk stocking firm guys, the upper echelon attorneys, they always took for granted that injury cases were easy. And some of these guys nowadays, they try and do some of these cases until they get into it and figure out they're not easy. And then they're in a world of hurt because they've taken on something that they really don't know how to handle. So,
Yeah.
it's better off that you have advice, and we don't charge you for coming in and asking us questions. If we take your case, we get paid by taking a percentage of whatever we recover for you. And if we don't work and we work on your case, if we don't recover anything for you, we don't charge you. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of, those are the kinds of things that you see other lawyers advertise about, but that's par for the course. We all do that. So.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the rate, the money that the percentage that you are, it's by law and everything. Is
Yeah, the workers' comp claims are 25%. That's set by law. The industry typical standard is 33 and a third of whatever we recover. Products liability cases or medical mal cases are bigger, more expensive cases are about 40% of what the recovery is. But the reason that is that those types of cases, the law firm usually has to invest 50, 100,000, a huge amount of money get your case to at least to the courthouse steps, if not in the courthouse. And so to justify investing that kind of money, we need to get a bigger fee. But we also, if we lose your case, you don't owe us that 100,000. We eat it, so
Right.
that's the risk, that we take when we take your case, So, that's again, those rates are par for the course. If we get a situation where because these cases change on a daily basis, if we get a situation where we're getting close to settle and there's bad facts or us, or the value of the case has gone down significantly, we always make sure that the client gets more than what our fee is. In other words, we don't take
Right.
we don't enforce that contract strictly if it looks like the client's not going to get any money out of
Right. And all the
it. That
good
happens
guys are
too.
watching out for the bad guys. That's why you have the bar association and everything, huh?
If you have a lawyer, or a fee that a lawyer's charging you, the St. Louis and the Bar Association across the state has a fee dispute process where you can go in and you can get a little hearing about the fee that they were charging, or whatever else, and it'll get resolved. So
Yeah. And my last thing on that is to say that sitting around the backyard of the Whalens, you say, listen, man, if I didn't get the lawyer, he or she, I wouldn't have gotten what I got.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, a lot of the guys that you'll hear on their commercials say, don't talk to the insurance company. And the reason they say that is insurance companies have been known to even come to hospital rooms and try and get people to settle and sign off on a settlement that's never that is not in your best interest. Now it's in their interest, but once you sign that piece of paper and you settle, you're settled. You
Yeah.
know, and,
Yeah.
and so
My brother had a hard time writing, and his ex was enough to put on an official document.
you know,
Yeah. But, and that comes up to circle back that power of attorney, it's so hard on the family to
yeah,
have your affairs being
yeah,
conducted at the time.
right.
Do
Well,
anything and move mountains to have it all done before, huh?
yeah. Here's what I tell most people: power of attorney is necessary when the person is going to become incapacitated, either by age or by illness or whatever. And so you need one of those for that person. But when you give someone your power of attorney, you've essentially given the power of attorney the right to act as you in all circumstances, which usually is a good thing, but it can be a bad thing too if it's not done, if it's done with an improper motive. So,
Yeah,
but
and that's the beauty of it is that it's a real concern that you take time and have time to do it right. And
right,
and
right,
that's what the friend, like my brother Tom was on my banking account, my
right,
checking
right,
account, and
right,
they said, "Hey, is he okay? Are you under?" Yeah, I said, "Yeah,
right,
yeah,"
right.
because he could take off.
Right. I mean, I recommend that to everybody too. That the whole thing, probate, is that you do everything you can outside to keep you out of probate. I mean, you still can have a will, and people, a person that you trust represent your estate after you pass away. But your property, account, your car, everything you own, your stocks, your insurance, should already be in a situation where it's going to transfer or death to wanted to do to have, and you don't need to go into probate. So
Yeah, right.
that's
Oh,
what I
it's a terrible
recommend.
thing.
Yeah.
So we've accomplished a lot, and
Well, good, good.
yeah, yeah, and I really like your tone. You kind of like possibly an Irish tenor at all.
You don't want me singing though. You don't
All
want me
right, all
singing.
right. But you're my local Batman, and
Right.
yeah, yeah, and but you're the guy that I go to for professional opinions, and and
Right.
I appreciate that, and I
Well,
urge you.
you can call me anytime, and these people that heard my number, they can call me anytime too. And I've got voicemail. If I don't pick up the phone, I'll return your call. I
Yeah.
guarantee that. So,
Okay, so it's a custom here at Whale Certified to say, hey, Dan,
Mhm.
whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to for as long as you want to say it for.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, you mean right now?
Yeah.
Oh, oh. Well, I say to people in general, people I grew up with, and you know who they are. I've always cherished, with them, and I really, really enjoy trying to help them and help them get through situations that are kind of tough legal situations because, like I said, us kids as growing up and our parents, we didn't have access to lawyers, and so what I try to do is give my people, my friends, their families access to lawyers that they wouldn't normally have. That's
Yeah.
take everybody's phone calls. So
Yeah, man.
mhm.
I appreciate you and always have and always will, Dan. So
Cool.
the best to you and to all the Ryans.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. Yeah. And to the Whalens too.
All right, then.
Okay.
So I want you to know you are Whale Certified Hall of Affinity, and people can be Whale Certified if well they only try.
All right. Very cool. All right.
All right, baby. Bye
All
bye.
right, brother. All
Bye.
right.